It's always a great joy when a student passes his final exam and receives an admission letter from a university. At that time, the student becomes the pride of a village, not only to his parents but also to people who knows him around the village. In places where the parents do not have the financial muscles to fund the education, the village comes together to ensure that they gather enough money to take the student to school. When the student gets the admission letter, several things happens from there. Among the many things, the idea of looking for a hostel for the student crops up. It is in this idea that most parents are confused on either to choose between an outside school hostel and those hostels that are offered by the school administration. Both hostels, those in school and those outside the school, comes with their share of blessings and disadvantages as well. We take Mount Kenya University Thika campus as our case study to evaluate the pros and cons that comes with either side of the hostel chosen by the parents and the students. Let's first admit, most students, when they are about to join university, they want to be given the chance to choose for themselves where they want to live. If the desire does not come as they are joining the university, then it grows as days in the university progresses, and eventually they tend to like one side of the hostel than the other. Mike Kalani was a student here at Mount Kenya University before he graduated and left. He says all his university life he lived in school hostel and he never regrets living there. Mike says that there are several advantages that comes with living in school hostel.
Naitwa Mike Karani. Nilikuwa naishi hostel. Advantages za hostel ni kuwa uchelewi class. Ili kuna security. Unaweza acha vitu zako hapo na sijue. Challenges zile mingi kwa hakuna privacy. Mmoja mnaishi watu.
With all these advantages that comes with the school hostel, how available are they to student or to a parent who would want one for their son? Molin, who transferred from Nakuru campus to Thika campus, have this advice to say.
The main campus where I did undertaking for easy access because ukikuja shule late it will be hard for you to get the
If a parent does not get a school hostel for a son or daughter, there are other options that are found outside the school compound. These are public hostels that investors have taken the advantage of school proximity and have built hostels to let to students who are not lucky enough to get a space inside the school hostel. Gideon, who is a statistics student in campus, says he loves it outside and he never experiences much difference with his friends who lives inside school.
Maisha inakuwa nzuri. Ndio huku tangu tulipokuja huku amekuwa akiofa huduma njema. Na tumekuwa tu tukifurahia huduma zao.
Yeah. Ukikompare maybe hostels za nje na za ndani, ni gani unaweza sema ziko na mandhari mazuri ya kusomea?
Kwangu mimi mandhari ya huku nje kwangu ninaona yako sawa kuliko shule juu pengine shule kwa wanafunzi wengi pengine makelele hivyo. Huku si wanafunzi wengi sana. Kwa hivyo kuna mandhari ya utulivu na napata kusoma vizuri ama kuivaisia pengine mitihani.
Emmanuel wanted to get a space inside the school hostel, but in one way or another he was not able to get the space due to its nature of demand. By the time he was being admitted, all the rooms in school were full. Emmanuel was left without a choice other than look for an outside hostel, something he says he does not regret.
Tuko poa, tunapata kila kitu, services are okay. Tunapata lunch hapa, tunapata supper, pia chai asubuhi tunapata. Alafu to be more comfortable tumepewa wifi, pia kuna maji.
So ulikuwa umejaribu kupata maybe hostel za shule ama haukujaribu ama ulipata zimejaa?
Nilipata zimejaa. Level then that option B sasa ilikuwa kuja hapa.
Na ukikompare za shule na za nje, ni gani maybe unaona kama unaweza kuwa na freedom ya kutosha?
Niliona tu hapa nje kuna freedom.
John, who is a student here at Mount Kenya University, has had the worst nightmare due to water shortage when he was living in the hostels that are outside the school. Something he says is layer in the school hostel.
Kwa kawaida huwezi kosa maji. Wakati mwingine maji ni changamoto. Na vile vile zinarahisisha usafiri ama kusafiri kutoka kwenye zile hostel ambazo ziko, maanake zile za huko nje wakati mwingine unaweza kupata zikiwa mbali. Kwa hivyo zinarahisisha kule kutembea. Na zaidi ya hapo usalama pia. Wakati unaishi katika vyumba vya huko ndani ama ndani ya shule ama chuo, usalama wako umehakikishiwa tofauti na.
So this is exactly how the beds of hostel looks like. And I have shown you how maybe the hostel of school that looks like. This is now an outside hostel, maybe for the student who do not get a chance to be able to get into the school hostels, but they have to come here because they want still to access the school as easily as possible. And in most cases, you know that the hostel of school, they are very competitive. In most cases, for you to get them, you have to pay early in advance, and you are not even guaranteed that you can get a chance or a space in the school hostels. And so what most students do, they come outside the hostel. There are people who have invested in building hostels. And this is just an example of one of them. And this is where I'll be sleeping maybe for the next 3 days as I do my exams. And there are others who came before me. There are others who are regular here who pay for a whole.
Gideon denies the allegation that has been peddled around on how the outside hostel have been invested by the Bedbugs. He says for him, he has not experienced such horrible situations in his campus life.
Nashuhudia hao kunguni, lakini hao siwezi jua nini kiliwafanya wa kuja kusema.
There are students who are never shy to take their girlfriends to their rooms in either the hostels. Although this is not lumped with the student hostel, the outside hostel, which has less restriction, has been a playground for male students who invite female friends to their rooms. John says he does not have a problem with them because they have attained an age where they can make their own decisions.
Kwa hivyo hakuna yule ambaye anazuia ama ameweka ama ameweka sheria kwamba huwezi kumpeleka mwanadada ama mwanamvulana katika zile hostel. Kwa hivyo mara kwa mara yanatokea mambo haya, yanatokea kwa sababu wanaoshiriki masomo katika chuo kikuu ni watu wazima.
In the end, the choice between an outside hostel and that of the inside school hostel will depend on various factors, but the choice made will influence the student positively or negatively. The story of a choice of where to lay your hand every day as you pursue your career will always be a difficult one. Every parent desires to give the best to their children, and a good choice of a hostel comes in handy. The next time you want your son or daughter to live a better life in campus, make sure you make the right choice.